Now, this tip is something that I call the third eye method, and that is simply just using your third eye, which is your radar. The radar can give you so much information. Even though my webcam is blocking it, you guys should get the basic understanding of what I'm talking about. Now, the radar is going to show you exactly where your teammates are on the map. Now, the first thing that this will tell you on the T side is where you should be directing your team where to end the round. So if I'm over here in mid and I see most of my teammates, maybe I have one in connector and I'm sitting here holding his cat. I have 2 players in ramp and 1 in palace. A lot of times, a lot of noobs will have no idea what to do, and they'll all just walk out one by one like a vending machine and just give themselves to the CTs for free, and you'll basically just lose the round. But if you're able to look at your third eye, aka your radar, you're able to direct your team and just say, hey guys, let's go end A, and then you can just run up with your con teammate, and all of a sudden the pinch is happening. Even if your teammates are a little bit more spread out, where maybe you have one in palace, maybe you have a teammate in ramp, one's underpass, and then one's in upper B, you can still use the majority of the numbers that are towards A and just tell them like, hey guys, I'm gonna fake B, you guys go A, and then you just maybe just throw a flash in sight and try to take some aim duels, and then have them start to lurk up A because you're pulling some sort of rotations. Now on the CT side, what makes this very important is that the radar is going to show you what is being held and what isn't. So about every 5 seconds, you should be glancing up at your radar, because this is going to tell you, especially if you're somewhere in like mid or maybe you're an A anchor, on what the gap is on the map. Because if you're here just playing on A, maybe you're playing this off angle and you have no idea where your teammates are, sometimes connector can be a huge gap and they can just walk up and kill you just by this little sliver here. But if you're playing this position and glancing at your radar every 5 seconds, you're able to notice that maybe connector is gapped, and then you can just back up and start to jump spot ticket without your teammates having to tell you anything. Even though communication is really important inside of Counter-Strike, the minimap is your third eye, which basically tells you everything that you need to know. It'll even show you where enemies are, where maybe you have a teammate that's just in palace and he decides to jump across and then jump back and he doesn't have a mic. Chances are on the radar, you're going to see a red dot that will pop up that will show you that someone was here on stairs that your teammate just spotted, which will give you a lot of information on how they're playing over towards A. So if you're able to constantly glance about every 5 seconds at your minimap like the pro players do, you'll notice that your game sense will elevate and you're able to almost control the game in a different way.